But this is not going to become a snake channel, I promise. But I did want to show off something I did because I wasted a hell of a lot of time doing it. You know, my wife has this hobby of she wants to get into breeding certain snakes, and not the way that like commercial breeders typically do. I mean, every snake we have is a pet, and I kind of look at them as like love sponges. They just soak up the love. And I don't want to put them in racks of bins, that sort of thing. I want to have them that I can see and handle and appreciate. So I wanted to build or have vivariums for all of them. But when you've got 18 of them so far, you know, it gets a little bit difficult to find the room, and they get cumulatively expensive. So I built this, which was initially meant to house 6 of them. As you can see, there are dividers where each of these levels is a single 6-foot enclosure that is divided into 2 3-foot enclosures, and can be, of course, opened up again to become 1 6-foot by 2-foot by 18-inch enclosures for the purposes of breeding. So we would have, like, for example, on this side, we have Lilith. She's an extreme reverse Okatee corn snake. And on this side of the divide, we have her mate. This is Lucifer, in complementary pair, of course. And then in this bottom one, we don't have anybody in here yet. We are going to move in our mandarin rat snakes. We have a breeding pair of mandarin rat snakes, gorgeous things. But right now they are so tiny that in the bare floor, I put one of our mandarin rats just to see how it would do, and it disappeared into the floor, found a crack, a tiny seam in the floor that I didn't think was even there, and stuffed himself between the floors, and it took a little while to get him back out. And so we're not going to put him in there because they're babies. Babies can get through the tiniest things. As a matter of fact, with these guys, I was so worried about it because he tried to escape too, that I just ended up taping the door shut to make sure that I've covered everything. My wife made me come in here and like duct tape every possible seam to the point where each of these cells could effectively hold water. And this guy, I am so proud of him. I ended up having to take the divider out first thing, as soon as the first inhabitant is this beautiful guy, Abath. I named him Abath, after the singer for Immortal, the black metal band.
There's only one Abath.
And I just love him. The sad thing is, when I bought him, he was super chill. I was carrying him around all day for hours. Went to a brewery with him. We had him out on the table. He's like chill. He's sitting out in the sun. We're doing the outdoor dining thing, and he was just wonderful. And then we get him home, and I put him in this, and I think that's when he realized that he's been rehomed, and he's only lived with one other person for 3 years, and he's apparently built a bond with that person, and she sold him to me so that she could go buy a horse. And so I think he was freaking out a little bit about that. So he's in a new place with new smells and everything. I've had him for a week, and when I tried to pick him up, he got real nervous, skittish, and even struck at me. And he is mildly venomous. He's a false water cobra, and he has rear fangs, kind of like a hognose snake, but he's obviously much bigger. I mean, this guy he's in excess of 6 feet long. And whereas all of our others are going to be really tiny. I absolutely love this guy, and if you've got suggestions on how to manage a big snake like this to get him back to where he's comfortable, and I don't know if he's feeling heartbroken over his former owner or what the deal is, but he and I got along famously that first day until he figured out that he was in a new home. And this was a week later, and I think he's still a little freaked out about that. I don't know, every snake that we go to pick up always reacts, you know, they try to run or they get skittish. I mean, just the thing that snakes do. And then once you get them up in your hands, well, then it's all good and they're chill, and that's fine. But when he's this big and has fangs and even a weak venom, then I'm a little hesitant to play that game. I've got leather gloves, I've got a leather duster. When I do pull his ass out, I'm going to be fully armored, but I want him to have a full-on week to get used to the new digs. So anyway, this is the most elaborate piece of furniture I ever built. I realized that I had to have wooden plates at the bottoms of every one of the windows, coincidentally right at the size of yardsticks, so I figured I would use yardsticks. the thickness, the width, and everything was exactly perfect, and now I've got a good way of measuring the snakes when I see them crawling across the front of this thing. So this is my serpentine cabinet, my serpentine chicken ranch, if you will, and I just wanted to show that off.